of the American Task Force on Palestine. Very warm welcome to you. Do you have any sense of optimism about a possible ceasefire?
Well, thank God for small favors. I think the 3-hour ceasefire every day that has just been announced is a good thing. One of the most tragic things about this conflict is that the people who are doing the suffering the most, the only really people who are doing the suffering, are the civilian population of Gaza. They have nothing to do with the political decisions on either side that have led to this disaster that has afflicted them. So any relief that is given to these people is very, very welcome. Of course, on the larger picture, it's hard to see a reconciliation between the Israeli desire to stop the rockets and to quarantine Hamas and not allow it to have any access to borders, control, or tunnels, or anything that would help it get resupplies. On the other hand, it's hard for Hamas to accept anything less than the status quo ante, which it had refused when it refused to extend the ceasefire. There's going to be a lot of jockeying, and perhaps the ground operation will tilt the issue one way or the other till we reach that ceasefire, the final one.
If and when that ceasefire is put in place, what sort of picture are we left with? What then? How does the region actually move forward from this terrible situation it has at the moment?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
If and when the ceasefire is put in place, what is left? How does the region move forward from this terrible moment in which it is in?
Okay. Everybody has to keep in mind the focus, the main thing, the main issue here on hand. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is about having a historic compromise. This is the same piece of land that two people are fighting over. The only rational way to do it is to split the land between a Palestine and an Israel. This has to be the focus of any attention as we explore these ad hoc issues that keep coming up, like the present crisis. Eventually, you would have to have serious negotiations, essentially adopted by the new administration as soon as it hits the road, which says, in effect, we are going to work for this historic compromise, creating a state of Palestine alongside Israel. The first thing that needs to be done, in our view, is to have a cessation, a freeze on settlement expansion, so that the issue of land erosion does not preclude the establishment of a Palestinian state. This cannot go on. If the Israelis continue expanding settlements, there is no meaning whatsoever to the concept of a two-state solution. Nobody would be interested in compromising, nobody would be interested in negotiations, and it will be the Gaza confrontation writ large, not just over Palestine in general, but over the whole Middle East. So the stakes are very, very high. Of course, there has to be something given to the Israelis in exchange for freezing the settlement expansion, but that's a political thing that can be also negotiated.
Okay, Dr. Ziad Asali of the American Task Force on Palestine. We're out of time. Thanks very much indeed. You're watching BBC News. Still ahead,